What's going on, everybody? Come back with another video. I know last time I did a video on boxing talk. I'm coming back on that one. Got some cooking for that with my top 10 power pound list. But today we're going to talk about Mr. Josh Allen, and the only reason why I want to hit on Josh Allen is has nothing to do with him. He's a great player, top three, top five quarterback. Depending on who you ask, I think you won't be know that. The thing with Josh Allen that I've been noticing for a while is I'll say media, of course, fans, Bills fans, that's their guy, but the media, in my opinion, overhypes Josh Allen, in my opinion. And I'm really going to just be focusing on the most recent game, the divisional game back from this past season in the playoffs versus the Broncos. So there was a video by ESPN where it was talking about, I think the headline for that one was, I think it was with Troy Aikman and Lamar Jackson, like the expectations with a brand new coach and things like that. Or you'll see the headline that says, who's under more pressure to win a Super Bowl, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, since those two always are tied together, seen in recent years. And I know the Bills have gotten the best of the Ravens in those games in the playoffs, uh, and Josh Allen has played better for the most part in those games as well. For the most part, honestly, except for my opinion, I think 2 years ago when they played the division round, Mark Andrews dropped a 2 point conversion. I think Lamar, you could say it was even or however you want to put it, but that's besides the point. And I think for me, some of just the dialogue around Josh Allen is interesting. So to start this bad boy out, I'm gonna share this screen here. Let's get it shared, and I'm just going to show. Okay, we can see that. So Josh Allen in this game for all of us to see. And we understand the game is more than just stats. Stats don't tell the whole story. Not all these. Let's go through the stats. Go through the stats. Let me go like this. There we go. So Josh Allen threw for 283 yards, three touchdowns. Ooh, that sounds good. He did have four turnovers, two interceptions, two lost fumbles, and the game was 33-30. And that was an overtime loss. Close game. He also had six rushing yards on 12 carries, and the Broncos ended up winning. Still a close game, even with the turnovers. You can't ever question Josh Allen's heart, his will to put the team on his back, to make whatever play. The issue, let me tie this all together. The issue that I had, so I'm gonna stop sharing this one. So yeah, four turnovers. Out of those four turnovers with Mr. Allen that he had, we'll share the next one. Share my screen. There was just one interception that the Broncos didn't score off of that they got on a turnover. So they scored 16 points off of turnovers. And then you have people, um, which I want to get to. I commented on the ESPN YouTube video, and people, I commented. I was calling him Mr. Five Turnovers. I'm gonna show all that. It was actually four turnovers. Turnovers. I need to go edit that comment on YouTube. And my whole thing was even if he has maybe two turnovers. Now, which is just hindsight. We don't know what would happen if he only had two turnovers. Josh himself, he had four. But let's say everything plays out the same. He only has two turnovers. Most likely they win. The Broncos, I mean, the Bills will win that game. And it's just for me, it's hard for me to. It has nothing to really do with. I don't know Josh Allen or anything like that. As a player, he's great, but the discourse. I'm pretty sure if Lamar Jackson had this game, he still would be getting criticized right now. And this game was January, February, March, April, May, 4 months ago. 4 months ago on the 17th of January of 2026. But Josh, it's like everything gets glanced over because when Lamar Jackson had those two turnovers versus the Bills, I think in the divisional round two years ago, he had threw an interception, and then he also fumbled, and all that was in the first half. And I know the Bills scored, I believe, off the fumble, scored 7 points, and off the interception, they didn't score anything. I know the Ravens still ended up losing, and a lot of people blame Lamar Jackson's two turnovers. Well, if we don't have those two turnovers, they win, yada yada yada. But in that within that game, when I've always been told playing sports, it's not about how you start, it's how you finish. So yes, those two turnovers hurt, but then what also hurt was Mark Andrews, not just a drop 2 point conversion. Before that, he had a fumble on a nice big play. I don't think I can't remember what route he ran. It was like maybe a dig route off across the middle, trying to make a move. And I believe it was Bernard, one of the DBs, punched it out, fumble. And so my thing is too, with how we talk about players in the NFL, so much focus on the quarterback that we ignore the rest of the team. So that fumble for Mark Andrews didn't hurt the team, but Lamar Jackson's fumble interceptions did. That's the only thing that hurt. It's mainly just from like a fan perspective. When I see certain comments on Twitter, certain comments, shoot, just in media, period, it's just because sometimes even some of these media heads make, in my opinion, make off the wall comments. So we're going to hold Lamar Jackson to these standards up here, and everybody else is down here. So, and that's more so. I guess my overall gripe is like for me, I'm holding everybody accountable. Even things I say here, I'm posting the video. There's no way I can look in this camera and be like, "Ah, Josh Allen's not a top 10 quarterback currently in this league." That's just even if I'm not his biggest fan per se, not like maybe this guy over him or this guy over him. That's just been disingenuous, you know. And so that's how I feel a lot about some of this sports talk. Because after Josh Allen lost, and then the following week versus the Broncos, and the this most in this divisional round, you had commentators and different shows and podcasts, and they felt bad for Josh Allen. But just 2 years ago, even go back 2 years ago, when the Bills beat the Ravens in the divisional round, and Lamar led them on the drive to get on there and get the touchdown, and the 2 point conversion was right there. Teammate made a mistake. Mark Andrews dropped, made a mistake. Bad play by him, but there was no, I feel bad for Lamar Jackson. Not saying that it even should be, but just the dialogue around it. And a lot of times for me, I don't sugarcoat this, like a lot of it's based uh can be racial, or and also to the way I believe Lamar, you say maybe being from Florida, the way he carries himself, or the grills or whatever, maybe that's a turn off to certain people, so that he's not going to get the same benefit of the doubt. But yeah, we hold him to a very high standard of the quarterback position. And so I'm just like, we'll criticize one, but not the other. So there's no way I can look at this game and see all the four turnovers by one player. I just can't overlook that. Still a great player, Josh Allen. You had a right here, it says on screen, first half fumble. Right before half, I remember that. He was running, knocked it out, and Denver were able to get 3 points off of that. Not if I remember correctly, I'll go back and look at the box score. I think it was 13 to 3 point and a half. I'll look at the box score. I'll put that up just to confirm. I don't want to misspeak on that. In the second half, I think their first drive, they got the ball first. And this wasn't his fault. The lineman did get beat. Whoever was blocking, or tight end, whoever was blocking, strip sack. It was so fast. And that led to a field goal, overtime interception. These are just turnovers. Even when they had the chance to win the game, the Bills and Josh Allen missed. I believe it was the tight end. Might have been Dalton Kincaid. He was like ran like some type of post route. Josh Allen overthrew him. That was the other thing with Josh Allen I noticed, not this whole entire season, but when it came to clutch pressure moments, when you gotta have it. His level of inaccurate, his being inaccurate was something I noticed as well. You know, understand too, a lot of quarterback have to deal with pressure, things like that. But it just wasn't this game versus the Bills. It was also a game where he missed Shakir, excuse me. I think it was on a 2 point conversion. Shakir, it was like an outbreaking route, and it was not like he broke out, and there was space going in the end zone, going toward the sideline. And Josh Allen missed him. I would know we gonna miss throws, but that's another thing I'm noticing with Josh Allen too. I'm not saying this all the time, but when it's like gotta have it moments, gotta make this play. I don't know if we get happy feet. I need to go look at that more, but very inaccurate. Can't say that about my guy eight. Can't say that about my guy MVP Dak. That's coming. I'm gonna do a video on that too. MVP Dak is on the way this season. MVP Dak, I'm telling you. But no, let's see. Let's continue. Let me stop sharing this screen. Let's get. So, okay. So pretty much right here, I was watching this video. Now I'll be in these YouTube comments like for real. I'll be in the comments arguing with people sometimes, giving my opinion. I ain't gonna lie, dude. But so video Troy Aikman was giving this thoughts, I guess expectations for Lamar Jackson. So I go to the comments, you know what I'm saying, just looking at that. So that's where his comment, Lamar and Josh need to step their game up for sure. But it's fun watching these guys. That's what it says. And then we're gonna go over here. Let me actually minimize that. Let me actually click on it. Should be able to see it. Yeah. I'm gonna go down here. I know I'm sharing the screen, but I'll just read these off for in this moment. See, I responded to one guy in particular. Let me scroll down here. Okay, so this one person here said, so you can see that right here, common sense, something 5H, whatever. Josh has stepped his game up, especially in the playoffs. His defenses have let him down time and time again. Right there. That's what I'm like, no, I'm gonna do a video on. Okay, like I said, this got nothing to do with Josh Allen. These are people Josh Allen don't know, I don't know. But that mindset right there, Josh Allen don't have enough help. Josh Allen, defenses have let him down. There have been moments, yes, where that's true. But in this most recent game, it was 33-30. They might actually blow the Broncos out. Potentially. We don't know. Like, we don't know what would have happened if you don't have those four turnovers by himself and James Cook don't fumble. And they don't give up as an offense 16 points off turnovers. In my mind, I'm like, there's a strong possibility that they win that game. But you want to blame the defense. I cannot blame the defense in this game, most recent game versus the Broncos. This is what this most recent game was an L. How we blame the defense? And right underneath that, got my comment that reads, I said, Josh, the reason the Bills lost versus the Broncos, missed the five turnovers. I was wrong. It was five total turnovers for the team. It was actually four turnovers by Mr. Josh Allen himself. Can I edit that? Let me go ahead and edit that right now because that's not accurate. I misspoke. So he didn't even correct me. He didn't even go Google nothing, look nothing up. It was four turnovers. Save that. Mr. Four turnovers. And I did get some replies under this comment. I did get 14 likes. Give myself a like, amen. Let's go on down. Let's see. This person, I'm gonna keep going. The person responded. He also hung 30 on the league's top defense. No one cares. Now, if he had hung 30 if he had thrown like the 250 they had through 4 3 touchdowns, I'm not about to clown nobody because Josh is not, he's a good player. He ain't one of my favorites per se, but I was like, who cares? The person that I was talking with, whoever this person was, kept bringing up he's hung 30, but then he also had four turnovers. So yeah, it's just like he also went to say, okay, he also hung 30 on the league's top defense. Maybe his defense could have shown up and he wouldn't have had to try and be Superman. It wasn't his best game, yet it was good enough to win if his defense was even mediocre. Dude plays big in the playoffs when the competition and defense gets better. He always has. And I know this past season, the Bills defense, I believe, was not the best at stopping the run, but was like top three, or if not number one, at stopping the pass overall. So yeah, the defense can be better, but the defense is not the sole reason that they lost this game. And the thing I was trying to get this person to understand was like, okay, we understand he hung 30 points, offense, 30 points, and the Broncos had 33. If you turn the ball over you're giving the defense potentially short fields, no, giving the opposing offense short fields to work with. So yes, a team like the Broncos that has talent on both sides of the ball is going to be able to score points at an easier clip. And was like, we're putting the defense in a bad predicament. So if you know you have a bad defense, why are you putting them in a predicament with making mistakes on the other side of the ball, offense side of the ball? And so that's what this person said. Has people saying he didn't play his best. People, so the person, JCT, I don't know what these names be, JCT Slice, whatever, JCT, and adding me, he didn't play his best. And comment to the person, all facts, bro. So I responded back to his initial comment. I said, blaming everybody else. I said, have you heard of short fields off turnovers? Advantage Broncos. If Josh doesn't turn the ball like he did, they win easily. Josh has shown to be inaccurate when it matters in big moments. I said, be honest. Same person responds back, guy, wake up. You're referencing one playoff game where Josh was not fantastic. Yes, that's his most recent update to resume for me. That's been his most recent game. I've already said he was not amazing. You didn't say that, sir. But yet, he was going up against the league's best defense, though, and hanging 30 on the road against Denver is not easy. However, in that one game you keep harping on, he did enough. With that, he did enough that with even a mediocre defense, his team wins that game. And he's staying consistent to his whole defense thing without he not paying attention to no turnovers. Yes, he said, I'm ignoring them joints. Josh will never do such a thing. I was like, okay. And I responded to him. I said, most recent game, dog. Stop being dense. And he said, no, dude, you're dense. I know. We've been petty in this joint. I said, he played in 15 playoffs games. You keep referencing the whole one where he scored 30 points against the league's best defense on the road and using that as evidence that he sucks in the playoffs, which I've never argued. This is crazy. You must be a bot, is what he said. That's crazy. He's putting words deep. He's saying things I did not say. For sure, for sure. This is wild work. You guys should go back and reread this stuff. I think this man was trying to gaslight me. I responded saying, not a bot. 30 points. The Bills offense put up on Denver. I said 30. I said not no bot. 30 points the Bills offense put up, but Denver scored 16 points off turnovers. Somebody tell me what's 33 minus 16. You know what? Let me get a pen. I got some paper over here. About to do some math. Okay, we got a calculator right here. What's 32 minus 16? 33 minus 16. 17. 17 to 30 Bills win. We don't know that for sure, but everything stays the same. But this brother won't acknowledge that. You got me out of my world, man. Got me going. Got me going. And so other people commented as well. I think that was my last comment. Somebody even said right here, I'm just going to touch it right here. If he hits a wide open tight end and try with 10 seconds left in the fourth quarter, then it would have been enough to win. And so that's what I'm saying. Even with his bad turnover play, 4 turnovers that he had by himself, Josh Allen, there were still plays that he could have made. Like I mentioned earlier, I forgot which tight end was either. I forgot the other tight end. One blank. I think it's yeah. Burrow was wide open, and he threw it high. And I'm like, so those are other things. It's like it's not just the turnovers. It's just a lot that people don't want to have that discussion around Josh for whatever reason. I feel like Josh gets more love than Pat Mahomes. Like Pat Mahomes get love. Don't get me wrong, but it's Josh. It's different for Josh. He gets love for real. He gets love for real, for real. Like Pat with all his 3 Super Bowl wins, he don't get that kind of love. That was pretty much it. Other people commented. There was more stuff that people said, but Let me see him go down. So I think that was all the comments here. And so this is what kind of pushed me to make this video about Josh. I just like said, no hate. Let me go back over here and stop sharing this one. Uh, it's like no, just not no Josh Allen hate slander and being unrealistic. But my thing is, I'm consistent. Want to be consistent. My takes like if I said MVP that Action Jackson. If they go out here and have 4 turnovers, I can't go and then look the other way and act like I didn't see those 4 turnovers. And it's like that's just been disingenuous, been dishonest. It's like I believe in holding these quarterbacks to the same standard. So with that being said, not just Josh, but Kyler Murray needs to win the playoff game this year. And Justin Herbert needs to win the playoff game this year. What's bull name? Colin Cowherd had him top in the top 5 quarterbacks for what? Justin Herbert, that is. And I understand teams win playoff games. And I've never been that a team wins are a quarterback stat. It's not. But that's a whole other conversation. But it's like things like that where it's like, okay, what are we doing? We're just trying to get some attention. What's up? But I ain't gonna prolong nothing uh, any further. But that was it on the video. Sibs podcast, just a little football talk. You know what I'm saying? We're always looking forward to 2 coming out. Do another video on 2 coming out. Look for that, baby. Already. Ha ha.